Let's get right into it. Here we go.
Listen, when you don't win the Royal Rumble, that doesn't mean you don't have something big coming up at WrestleMania. And that is the same case this year, as in Indianapolis, we saw a real spark happen with three massive egos in WWE. Three men who all wanted to win the Royal Rumble for different reasons. And now their issues are intertwined and could find a conclusion in Las Vegas at WrestleMania 41. This is Sports Key to Wrestling, and let's look into the possible master plan for Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk at WrestleMania 41. CM Punk has long stated in character that he wants to main event WrestleMania, to the point where he's even being mocked by other men who've main evented WrestleMania for not main eventing WrestleMania. And his entire return to WWE has kind of characteristically been built around that, even with setbacks of injuries, a big feud with Drew McIntyre, a big redemption story, and the huge Raw Netflix premiere main event where he defeated another man intertwined in this triple threat Cerberus of big egos, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins legitimately tried to once become a student in the ring of CM Punk way back in the day. And those issues spiraled and snowballed into some big things in 2019 when he interviewed Seth Rollins, who was going back and forth with CM Punk on Twitter when they legitimately had issues with each other, claiming he wanted to have a big WrestleMania match with CM Punk. So when CM Punk finally returned to WWE after that, short little, not so talked about time in AEW, talked about for the right reasons, but that's a different video. We have that on the channel. Well, when Punk came back, Seth Rollins was not happy about it, and it seemed like he wanted that big fight, and it seemed like WrestleMania was going to be about Punk versus Rollins in Philly, but that didn't happen. Untimely injuries kept Punk out of the picture, and then a Drew McIntyre feud, a blood feud, kept him really out of the picture with Rollins. Now, when they fought on the Netflix premiere, it showed a different spark in both men, a very inspired one. And when CM Punk got involved with the big War Games match for that other issue that, intertwines them both, that is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has a lot of history with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins contributed to his title loss to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, and of course, their history in the Shield. So that was intertwined at War Games when CM Punk took a phone call and a favor, yes, that he could cash in later on from Roman Reigns' wise man to join Roman's team to take on the new bloodline. And of course, the OG bloodline, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, were successful. Now, what is that favor? What is that issue? It's all just interlinked. All of these shoes are tied together, and they won't get untied until we get to WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Now, does that mean we get the obvious match with all three men? Let's explain. Before we get there, there's another way this could go. Since WrestleMania has been expanded in the modern streaming age where more content means more watch time, which means WrestleMania just can't be one night, we have a two-night scenario. And WWE truly betted big on this last year with the main event being consequential to the main event of night two. And there's a distinct possibility of that happening again this year with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns still having an opportunity at a world title. But they didn't win the Royal Rumble. How does that happen? Well, there's a long way to go until we get to WrestleMania. And that includes the very big Elimination Chamber show in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where the winner of the big chamber match also gets a world title type opportunity, in that they likely win the world title and can go to WrestleMania with it. The harsh feelings between Punk, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk were felt in Indianapolis at the Royal Rumble, including Rollins stomping Roman Reigns into some steel steps, and maybe some steel can be used as a weapon inside the cage, like, Roman Reigns splashing into Seth Rollins, crashing into him, Punk getting involved again. Is he going to side with Rollins to take out Roman Reigns, or is he once again going to make sure that Rollins understands he's never going to get the comeuppance on him? Seth Rollins, still blind with rage and revenge both towards Rollins and Reigns, would simply lose his mind and do everything he can, whether to win or lose, to simply keep Punk and Reigns out of a world title scenario inside the chamber, and effectively, in some way or another, we can't see it exactly right now, cost himself the match as well, canceling all three of them out. But through, angles that maybe you can fill in the comments, they're still in that world title picture. So a triple threat, night 1, would build to a world title match, night 2. Yes, interlinking night 1 and night 2 in a significant, consequential way. Yes, because through all the politicking, maneuvering, and those massive egos and backstabbing attacks, Rollins would find some way to feel like he and Reigns can go one-on-one on the grandest stage, with Punk appearing to be out of the picture. Well, what about that favor you owe me, Paul Heyman? Yes, CM Punk would reinsert himself back into the WrestleMania picture by demanding that favor be he is added to the match. A triple threat, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and a whole lot of bragging rights on the line in the desert of Las Vegas. What do you think? They roll the dice because it's a gambling reference, but do they lose or do they win? Is this a decent idea for you, or do they need a world title in the mix to make it really